Hello there. It's been Independence Day holiday this week in the U.S., and I've had too much to do to spend any time doing research. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about some big changes that have come my way unexpectedly in the past month. So what's different? I know I probably look the same, but in the last 3 weeks, my career focus has taken a complete 180-degree turn. No one's more surprised about this than I am. For the past 4 years, I've been happily delving into all sorts of nonfiction books. I've searched for highly recommended books on every topic, and I've read quite a few of them as rapidly as I could. And I've had fun doing it. I've learned a lot, and I still have around 50 nonfiction books in my to-be-read pile. But something odd has happened to me, and I can pinpoint the exact day it happened, or the exact day it started was on May 30th. I was scrolling through my Facebook account, and I saw a Book Riot article about a genre that looks like it's here to stay, and it was called cozy fantasy. I don't read fantasy, and I don't read genre books very often, but that really grabbed my attention for some reason. I thought, that sounds like something I might like to read. So I started doing a little digging into it, and I ordered a few of the really popular books just to see what it was all about. While I was waiting for the book to come, for some reason, the thought of that genre just would not go out of my head. And after I had done some research, it seemed that the books were just really sweet. And usually when I read fiction, I like to read literary fiction. I don't mind somewhat disturbing topics as long as there's not a lot of violence. But like I said, I've never been a big genre reader fan, especially fantasy. I liked Lord of the Rings, and honestly, I think that's the only other fantasy book that I have really and truly loved. So I don't know why this grabbed me the way it did. Several weeks after that, I launched my second book. For a good 6 months, I've known the topic of the next book, book number 3, that I had planned to work on. But I had decided that once the second book was out, I was going to take at least 6 months off and not write, not do research, not do anything but market the books I've got and just try to take it easy and relax a little. And then the oddest thing happened. A complete story popped into my head, and it's the kind of story that would belong in cozy fantasy. I wasn't trying to make this happen, honestly. I mean, I guess subconsciously it must have been churning along on the back burner in my mind, but I started seeing scenes, I started seeing characters, and I started hearing snippets of dialogue. Now, y'all, that's pretty odd, especially for me. I thought about writing a novel when I was really young, but I've never taken the thought seriously. I always thought if I wanted to write something, it would be nonfiction, true crime or something like that, and then the books that I finally wound up doing. But here was this story, and it seemed to want to be written, so I've decided to write it. Is it going to be good? I don't know. I sure hope so, but I really do have a lot to learn. I'm still going to do these videos more or less the way I've been doing them. I may change up a few somewhat. I'm still going to read nonfiction because I can't help myself. I do genuinely love it. And I'll keep doing occasional book reviews. I'll keep talking about the Dewey Decimal System, and I'm going to continue with the series on how to read a book by Adler and Van Doren. But right now I feel a bit like Lucy, who has somehow wandered into Narnia. Here's this book idea, and I'm doing research and reading books that I never expected to read again after childhood. I think this may have been a part of myself that I've been neglecting, and it wants to come out. So where will it lead? I have no idea, but I'm pretty excited to find out. I'll be reading more nonfiction now, and with the hopes of actually learning how to write a decent novel. I'll be reading more mythology and fairy tales and things like that because they are pertinent to the story that I'm going to write. These aren't really new interests for me. I've always loved mythology and fairy tales, and I've always been interested in writing, but I never expected to return to fairy tales and mythology after age 60. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to give you a heads up on what's been going on with me. I feel complete astonishment at this turn of events, but I also feel wonder. It's a bit like how I imagine somebody who's experienced love at first sight must feel. This wasn't something I was searching for, it just happened, and so far I'm really enjoying the process, although I'm not a long ways in. I've written four chapters and a prologue. So, but just the bones. I mean, they're going to need a lot of work. This is not something I'm going to be able to churn out quickly. I'll probably be adding updates to my progress every month or so. If you've ever considered writing a novel yourself but have yet to try, maybe you can learn along with me. If you're already a novelist, feel free to comment on my successes and failures and where I may be going in a wrong direction. And I'm curious, have you ever written a novel? Do you have any advice to share? Or have you ever taken a completely different turn unexpectedly and made drastic changes in your life just because you felt like you had to? Have you ever experienced anything like that? If you have, leave a comment below. I would love to hear your story. And I'd also like to know if you think I'm nuts for pivoting this way. It really is unexpected. So that's it. Until next time, happy reading.